Let him chase you. Yes, it's hard to date athletes because, yeah, some of them are hoes. Not every woman that dates an athlete is a gold digger. Be careful what you ask for. You don't want somebody that's communal property. Well, if you don't know, you can't see. But if you search, you're going to find. Stop having fucking babies. Welcome to the pickup line. Today we have a special edition, me alone, because I wanted to answer a couple questions. We've been getting questions asked to our producers and other people about how you become, I don't know how to really say this because I don't really know what this is, a WAG. So that's it. We've had people commenting and asking questions on how do you meet athletes? What do you think about dating an athlete? Several different questions. So I wanted to go ahead and address it. And a lot of the questions came from younger women. And I wanted to talk to them and let them know that you can date more people than just an athlete. I think that once a zero, so many zeros behind the name, they're all the same anyway. I've said that several times, but people have questions like, how did you meet them? What did you do? Like, where were you at? How was the relationship? And so I just wanted to talk about women that date athletes a little bit and let you know that they're people too. It's not that they did something extravagant to meet the athlete. I don't think they posted up in a certain place. Even if you tried, you might meet them, but you may not keep them. So I think that young girls need to understand that a lot of the women that are married to athletes have been with these athletes for years. Some of them have met them in high school. Some of them have met them in college. When they meet later in life, it may be a friend introduced them or just a different type of setting. I'm not going to necessarily say it's always best to meet somebody in a club. It's kind of best for somebody to set you up. So I just think that, whoever God has for you is for you. I think that people look on the outside in at relationships where women are dating athletes as, oh, they have this amazing life and they have this, and that. And, there's no price to be paid for it. Well, there's several prices to be paid for it. One, your husband, spouse, boyfriend, baby daddy, whoever he is, travels all the time. He's not around a lot. So a lot of the household, you are the CEO of your household. Period. You are the CEO of your household. You are there and you're left to run your household. So if you don't think that you can handle your significant other being absent quite a bit, then an athlete's probably not for you. I don't want you guys to get it misconstrued that these women don't work or these women just spend or these women just buy bags. These women have families, they have friendships, they have kids to raise. Some of them do work, some of them are in school. There's so many things that we can put into this conversation and we could say about this conversation. Not every woman that dates an athlete is a gold digger. Not every woman that dates an athlete is not educated. Some of them get together and they have what's called a mothers association and a wives association. They do things for the community. They do things for lots of people. They do speaking engagements. And back in my day, when I was with my kid's father, there was no social media. There was no imprint on how you're supposed to be. There was nobody. And if there was somebody watching every outfit I wore to every game, I didn't care because I didn't know. Like, I didn't know if my man was spotted in a restaurant or spotted at a club or spotted at a party. And you know what? Honestly, I thank God for that. I thank God I didn't know. I thank God that I didn't have millions of people judging my outfit or judging my hair or wanting to see what I was doing or hoping and praying for the demise of my relationship. I really am excited that I didn't know that. And I feel so bad for some of the women that do have to deal with that because whether you're a WAG or not, you're a human being. And having somebody, dissect you in your every move every day is absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They also have to worry about a lot of infidelity in their relationships because some women don't care if they're married. Some women are like, it's okay. Whether he's married or not, I'm still going to holler at him, which is not a good look either. Like, I don't understand. I see that it's a lot of money. I see that it's a great lifestyle. I see that everybody thinks that it's one way when it's a good way to live your life, but there's also a lot of things these women have to deal with. And I just wish that other women would respect their relationships and understand that they are dealing with them. I mean, Steph Curry. He's Somebody knows him everywhere. Everybody knows his wife. She's beautiful, but nobody knows what happens in that household unless they're walking in her shoes. Nobody knows if people are DMing her or if people are DMing him. Nobody knows what's really going on in that household because you're not in it. So I guess what I'm going to say to some of these younger women and to some other people, be careful what you ask for, because too much is given, much is deserved. And when women date athletes, it's not that they're dating them for free, because nothing's free. Your lifestyle's not free. Your car is not free. Your diamonds are not free. You are working towards a goal together as a unit. I don't want girls to feel like, oh, I'm gonna meet him and I'm gonna have it set, and then my life's gonna be good. And most athletes now want their women to work. They want their women to do something. I mean, Savannah James isn't sitting at home. I mean, they want their women to do things. Kerry Washington was married to a football player, is married to a football player, and she's Kerry Washington. So I want women to understand sometimes God is going to meet you where you're at. God is going to make sure that you have the right person in your life. And that person may not be an athlete. He may not be a hockey player. He may not be Formula One. He may not be that person, because I think it takes a special kind of woman and a special kind of anointing to take the back seat to the ego of an athlete. And I also think that for athletes that are dating really powerful women, it takes a strong man to be able to say, hey, my wife is a boss chick. She's a boss bitch. How about that? And we've got to understand that with social media out and everything else going on, some of the things you see may not even really be what you see. Like if your boyfriend's at a club and he's standing next to a beautiful woman, that doesn't mean he's dating the woman. That doesn't mean he's taking the woman out. That just means he's standing there. And so I think that we need to have a little grace for these women in their roles, because they're somebody's daughter, they're somebody's mother, and they're somebody's wife. So I think that we need to look at it a lot different than that. The Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing, not she who finds a husband or she who DMs her husband first finds a good thing. I think that it's best that you allow them to chase you and date you. I mean, this goes for any man, in particular athletes, because if you're an athlete, just think about it. You can have anything you want. You're an athlete. You can go anywhere you want. You can fly anywhere you want. You can buy anything you want. You can get anything you want. And what women need to realize is you can have a jewelry box that looks like Lucky Charms and be miserable. You can have every shoe and bag that there is to have and be sad. You want to have a relationship with somebody that wants to be in a relationship with you. So let him date you. Let him chase you. I love the relationship that Jordan Woods is in right now. I love watching her have her bridal shower. I love that she's so happy and radiant. And I love the fact that he loves her, because you can just see the love on both of their faces, that they love one another. But he dated her. He courted her. We need to get back to courting one another and dating one another. And if you're out somewhere, or you're at dinner, or you're at the mall or whatever, and maybe an athlete approaches you and wants to get your number and wants to talk to you, have a conversation, not a text message. Like, don't have a relationship over text message. Have a relationship over the phone. Let him talk to you. Let him date you. Let him send you flowers. I don't know, I haven't been out to a club in a very, very long time. So maybe if you're at the club, and you shouldn't tell your friends to go approach the athlete because you want to holla at him. Let him approach you. Ladies, when somebody likes you, and when somebody doesn't. And it's not that hard to get somebody's attention. Let him chase you. No man wants something that's that easy to have. They just don't. I mean, we can say times have changed Everybody's different. Things aren't like they were, Mari, back in the 90s when you were dating. But men are men. Men are men. Men still love the chase. And once he gets you, and once you get him, how are you going to cultivate the relationship? Are you going to just stop doing what you do and do everything he wants you to do? Are you going to keep your life going? Are you going to keep moving? Are you going to get pregnant immediately before you even been to the family reunion and get to know them? I mean, those are things that we need to think about now. And I think that maybe if you get your life straight, if you get your education together, if you get your paper straight, and then you pursue a relationship with him, it's going to be even better for both of you because you want your man to respect you. You want him to respect what you do. You want him to be proud of who you are. And if you're chasing him all the time, he might start running away. I mean, it's just like animals, how animals mate. I mean, he may start running away, and that's not something you want. You want somebody that cares about you just as much as you care about him. And you also want somebody that's yours. You don't want somebody that's communal property. Like it's just, that's not cool. I mean, yes, an athlete can go in the store and buy 5 bags at one time and give everybody a bag. That doesn't necessarily make you special. What makes you special is his kindness, is his paying attention to you, is his spending time with you. And if an athlete's spending time with you, time is something that they don't have a lot of. They don't have a lot of that because they're traveling, they're training, their lives are different. I just think that we need to reevaluate being one of many women. I think that it's healthier and better for you to be the woman. I don't think that you need to take a back seat because we think there's a shortage of men or a shortage of women. I don't think God made a shortage of anything. I think that God gave you a shortage of patience. I think you need to be patient and realize that who God has for you is for you. I said this before in one of our issues. We were talking about another girl that got pregnant by an entertainer. God's never going to give you somebody else's husband. And God may not give you a husband, period. We have no idea. But what I will say is wait, get yourself together, build yourself up because 2 broken people can't make a whole person. 2 broken people can't build a relationship. I love when I see some of my friends that are still married to their husbands from the 90s when I was with my kid's father. They're still married. Their kids are getting big. Some of their kids are playing in the league. It's great. And they're still friends. And some of those women have cultivated really, really good relationships. And I think one thing that brought them together is they've basically lived the same lifestyle and they understand one another. And let's kill the jealousy term. Like there's no reason for women to be this jealous of one another. There's no reason for this baby mama to not like that baby mama or this WAG to not like that WAG. That is ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous. Everybody should be able to come together and to be friends because you're grown. At this point, you're grown. And not only are you living a very, very public life, you have got to hold yourself in a public esteem. Like you have got to put yourself on a higher plane because you're going to have young girls looking after you, high school girls wanting to know how you got to be where you're at, what you're doing at home, what are your secrets, what are things that you like to do. You are now, once you stepped into that position as an athlete's wife or girlfriend, a role model to a little girl or to a girl in college who's saying, maybe I'm going to date the athlete on the football team. Maybe I'm going to do this, right? All that glitters is not gold, and there is work that is put into being in a position that you're in. And I think that if you hold yourself in an honorable state, people will have a whole lot of respect for you. Long live the groupie. That is like, long live the groupie. What can I say about the groupies? Ladies, there's groupies in so many categories. Some people would have said I was a groupie, and it just, what does that mean? Like you're just standing around waiting on somebody to choose you. You're standing around waiting on your turn. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in waiting on my turn. I don't believe in standing around waiting for any man to do anything with me because I didn't go chase the people that I was with. I didn't chase them. I didn't stand posted up and waited for one of them to walk over and talk to me. I didn't do that. I think that's ridiculous. I think that women today have it so much worse than I did because I wasn't on social media. I mean, I would see the girls standing outside of the game and you'd hear stuff about, oh yeah, he's got a whole set of women and another set of seats somewhere else. Well, if you don't know, you can't see, but if you search, you're going to find. I didn't really see if there was somebody else sitting in another seat. I did see women standing outside of games. Women still stand outside of games now. That doesn't necessarily make them groupies. I think that when you're a wife or a significant other to an athlete, you can't worry about that. You can't worry about, oh, he's cheating on me. You can't look through his phone, go through his text, look at his DMs. If God wants you to see something, you're going to see it. If that man is cheating on you, you're going to know it. You're just going to feel it. You're automatically going to know it. So I think that the groupie will weed its own self out. I think that the groupie is only going to get so far. I don't think that she is really significant. Like, even in my life right now, I don't really worry about other women. I don't really worry about how they're living and what they're doing. That just doesn't even matter to me. And when you're dating somebody in that role, if you sat and worried about every single woman that came near them, that approached them, that talked to them, you would be worried every fucking day. Like, you'd be worried all day. You wouldn't be able to take care of your kids. You wouldn't be able to go to the gym. You wouldn't be able to take care of yourself. It's ridiculous. You can't worry about that. The only thing you can do, one, pray and cover your family. And two, you have to trust. Trust is given until it's taken away. You've got to trust the person that you're dating. And yes, it's hard to date athletes because, yeah, some of them are hoes, but some women are hoes. Like, right? What's the difference? He's going to do what he's going to do. A man is going to do what a man is going to do. And you know what? You can't stop him. You can decide if you want to sit there and let him keep doing it and stay, or you can decide if you want to pick up the pieces and move on with your life and go. But any relationship that has been together for 20 and 30 years, you're lying if you say you haven't been through anything. You're lying if you say there hasn't been any difficulties. You're lying if you say that you never had an argument. Relationships take work. A relationship with an athlete is just going to take more work. It's just going to take more work. And you have to decide if you want to put in that work. You got to decide half the time when the games are over, most of the wives are talking to the wives. Ain't nobody paying attention to the groupies. They're just wasting outfits. I don't really know what the purpose is, other than if you are a groupie and you're dating somebody's husband and you're waiting outside of the game where his wife is waiting, that's disrespectful. And that's not going to last either. That will come to an end at some point. Another thing I think that women should take into consideration when they're dating an athlete is, athletes have families, and those brothers and sisters are hard to shake. Them mamas are hard to deal with because they want the best for their sons. You're walking into a landmine of protection. They're protecting their brother, their son, their sister. This goes for the WNBA as well. They're protecting their people. And when you're the new girl or you're coming in and you're new and they don't know you, they want to get to know you. They want to figure out if you want them for their money, if you really like them, do you really love them? They want to know. There's a host of things that people want to know. And the first thing you want to know is, do you love my child? Are you with my child for the right reason? So you have to put in work to get to know that family. You have to make sure that they're comfortable with you. And it's easy for a guy to say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they like you or not. Oh, yes, the fuck it does. Yes, the fuck it does. Because if they don't like you, then that's a years and years worth of arguments and miscommunications. And you've got nieces and nephews and cousins and grandparents. You need to go to a family reunion. You need to spend some time with that person before there's an I do. You need to get to know his sister and his aunties and his cousins and her cousins because when you're first put in that position, you are judged, and you have to be prepared to be judged. Because if it were you and the shoe were on the other foot, you're going to judge. You even when if my daughter brings somebody home or my son brings somebody home, I want to make sure that they are with them for the right reasons and that they love them. So for an athlete, that's 10 times as hard. It's like you just walked into wealth. You just walked into something that somebody's been working for since they were a little kid. Of course, the mom or the dad is going to protect their children. Of course, they're going to protect their assets. That's real talk. So you need to get to know the family. You need to go to church with them, spend time with them, invite them to dinner. You need to, I can remember times I was trying to be nice buying Christmas gifts, and it looked to the family as if I was just spending all his money, but I was buying Christmas gifts for the family. And my heart was in the right place. I really did mean well. And I was just trying to get everybody gifts. And it stirred up a problem. So it's kind of like when you first date somebody like that, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, until you get to know the people in the family and till people can trust you and trust where you're coming from and trust how you're living. It's almost like it's like walking into the Kardashian family. If you walk into the Kardashian family, everybody gonna be looking at you sideways. They want to know. I mean, so that's probably why most of them date athletes, because they're on the same playing field. I never got the W part of the WAG. I did get the girlfriend part of the WAG. So the W I didn't quite make it to, but we're still a family. And I think that when you have kids with athletes, it is really, really a cool experience for the kids when the kids are little. The kids, they don't they don't know all the drama going on in the world. They just want to go bounce the ball at the game when the game is over, or come to the game early and watch their dads like practice and go to the games and see daddy out there playing. I think that it's a wonderful community when all the moms and the grandmas and the cousins sit in the family section and get to know each other's kids. You're building lifelong friendships from that, right? It's a really, really good experience that can stay good or it can go really, really bad. It can be, I've got one kid sitting on one side of the arena, another kid sitting on the other side of the arena, and that's not good. That's not good. Being in a situation like that with an athlete is not always drama in the family reunion unit, but it can be at some point. It can be depending on how you operate yourself. For me, I was always about my kids. I was always about my kids. And I had a set of friends that were always about their kids. And we all became friends together. We would work out together. Our kids would hang out with each other at the games. And you would buy your kids the little jersey with their dad or their mom's name on it. And it was really, really good. But I know that so many athletes have bitter tastes with their babies' mamas and their babies' daddies, and that could cost the kids experiencing such a good thing. And I think that we need to cut that out. We need to figure out ways where babies' moms and babies' dads get along, or have the grandma take the baby to the game. Let the grandma bring the baby so the baby can experience the same life that the father lives. If you're not with that person anymore, you may not be in the same category, but that doesn't have anything to do with the child not experiencing some of the good things that the dad can offer, or that the team can offer, or go on some of the trips with some of the families. I think that we need to move past our own egos and our own pride when it comes to being the person that's not married to the athlete anymore, and allow the kids to live that lifestyle and to be a part of that lifestyle. Because what are you going to do? Trade in the dad or trade in the mom? That's not going to happen. So I think that counseling, therapy, figuring it out, working it out, ways that everybody can get along, especially in the family unit, right? I think that brothers and sisters should get along with the girlfriends and the aunts and the uncles, because the children didn't choose to be there. And you can't erase the children. Like, you can't get rid of the children. Or here's another thing. Stop having fucking babies. Like that's like one of the best things I could tell you is just stop having kids. I mean, nobody needs 5 and 6 baby mamas. Like we can control that, people. We're grown. Medicine, we have medicine for that. Like we can control having 5 and 6 baby mamas and 6 or 7 different women. It's just it's really unnecessary. If you have relationships with an athlete and your relationship is dying down, that doesn't mean that the friendship has to die down. That doesn't mean that it has to draw a blank, because you want to be friends with the mother or the father of your children. You want to be friends with their family. You want to keep in touch, because if you don't, at some point, those kids are going to have questions for you on why you didn't. It's better to try to work the relationship out or figure it out, or do what you can to maintain a friendship instead of having it bitter and ugly. Nobody wins when it's bitter and ugly. Nobody wins when, if you, I mean, it is nobody's fault if you don't see your children. If you don't see your children, whether you're an athlete, a doctor, a preacher, a lawyer, or a comedian, if you don't see your children, it's because you chose not to. There's too much money involved to not see the kid. So I think that when the relationship fizzles down, if you didn't make it to the wife part, or even if you're in the divorce part and you were the ex-girlfriend, have respect for the new girlfriend. You don't have to entertain her. You don't have to go wine and dine her. She might be there, but that doesn't mean you have to sway your kids away from their dad. Or in our relationship, we just did things together. We, for years, we figured out how to get along. We figured out how to do family trips together. We figured out how to be at family weddings together. We figured out how to make sure our kids were, still seeing two parents try their best to get along. Now, it wasn't always perfect, but we did what we needed to do to raise good, healthy, mentally healthy children. So there were times that he had to be with me and I had to be with him, and whoever we were dating just had to understand. And was it easy? No, it wasn't always easy. And for years, I never talked about this because I was waiting on my children to get older. I was waiting on my children to get to a point where they could understand some of the choices that we made in our relationship. And we made a deal. I was going to stay home and take care of the kids and do what I needed to do, and he was going to go out and do what he had to do, whether he was married to me or not. This is how we did it. And it worked because we've got 3 amazing kids. Was it easy? No. But co-parenting isn't easy. That's why you do what you need to do to work out your marriage, or you get married and try not to get to a divorce. But if you do get to a divorce, figure out a way that everybody's happy. I guess I'm sitting here having this conversation, and I'm old school on this, very old school. I've had kids in the 90s and 2000s, but I don't want everybody to think that being a WAG, and I don't even want to say the word WAG because I don't even think we had those initials when I was dating an athlete. But anyway, I don't want everybody to think being a WAG is an episode of Basketball Wives. I don't think that it's not always drama. I think that when you take on this life, you have to be ready for this life. I think that you have to be prepared for so many different things, and you have to have empathy for both sides of the team. Both sides of the coin need empathy. For one, you have to be ready to have a life that's publicly displayed right now. My life wasn't publicly displayed, but right now you have to have a life where you're on social media. You may have a certain following. You have to be ready for the groupies and the people that are saying they're cheating on your husband and DMing you and acting like they want to be with them. You have to be ready for storms that may come. Your finances may go up. Like one minute you might be winning, the next minute you might be losing, right? There's so many different athletes that go through financial hardships after they're retired or after they get ready to leave the league. So you have to be prepared for all those types of lives. If you are a baby's mama or the mother of some athlete's children, you have to know that you're not going to live the lifestyle that his wife lives because you're not his wife. You are the mother of his kids. You may not get the same deal that the wife got. You have to have empathy on people that lose themselves in this life. Like there's so many women that sacrifice their careers and who they are as women and people to build up this family legacy on who he is. I love the fact that LeBron James said, you know, Savannah's been in the house holding it down for me all these years. She's been holding it down for me, and now she gets to do her due. That speaks volumes to me because you give up a lot of yourself to raise your children, to be there for your man, to make sure the house is straight, to make people still got to eat and go grocery shopping. It's not like, you know, you're not a normal person because you've married into this relationship. So you've got to be ready to weather the storms. You've got to be ready for the ups and the downs. You got to be ready because sometimes the family will like you and sometimes the family won't like you. You got to be ready for what the public is going to say about you. And you also have to be ready to extend grace to your haters, to your motivators, to all the people that want you to win. And you got to also understand that some people ain't going to want you to win. So, you know, just know that wags are people too. Like, right? They have feelings and emotions and they are dealing with a lot. They're trying to give back to their communities. They're trying to stay in shape. They're trying to look good like everybody else is. And in that process, you're still getting older and you're still a woman. And I want women to understand that women need to have empathy on women. It's not about losing. It's about all of us winning and reaching the same goals.